you like to play games, but you kinda suck. That's okay, so does SJ.
Welcome to another episode of SJ Scrubs. We are back scrubbing Skyrim, and I am back at the Dragonborn Gallery. And for those of you who've been watching, the last video was a bit of a debacle because I had loaded this mod onto an old save and it kept crashing. But, as you can see, I have a new hood, but I made sure that truck looks exactly the same. In terms of my skills, I tried to level them up as best I could to mirror what I had in the old game. There's some minor differences, but I believe the perks are the same. And lastly, there are some little things that are different between this game and the last game, simply because the mod added some new items in. I've been to all of the same spots, I believe, in the world, but in some of those spots the mod had added in a couple new items, so this is to show you what I did. First of all, when I went into the Riverwood Traders, I saw this delightfully shiny golden jug, so I made a point to acquire it in the most ethical, up-and-up manner possible. Next, in the cellar of Venice's cabin, I found this Ring of the Wind, which gives a boost to speed, and I pretty much haven't taken it off since I found it. After that, I found a one-off alcoholic drink called Daedric Blood in the Rorikstead Inn. I haven't drank it, but apparently it does a ton of stuff. And lastly, while I didn't rack up an infinity gold bounty in Falkreath, I still managed to nail the smarmy Jarl in his punchable face. Incidentally, I found out I could punch him as much as I wanted to without racking up a bounty, as long as I didn't punch him too fast. Which I did.
Help me! Help me!
Worth it. And now that that's done, we're gonna head in and see what's what. At long last, we finished the quest.
Do you have a question?
I have found the one thing.
Oh, you have? Excellent. Yes, I have just the place for this.
450, not too bad.
Phenomenal. Let me have a look. Ah, yes. Exactly as described. Good work. Here's your pay.
525.
Very good. And in excellent condition, it seems.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
getting cheap on me, Orion.
That is
Come on, man.
very impressive. Which brings me to my next proposal. I'm in need of a full-time partner of sorts. A person of your caliber who can dedicate themselves to uncovering more lost artifacts and relics on their own, while I continue my research efforts. And you have proven yourself more than capable of the job.
And I think a special arrangement could work. Instead of me simply buying the relics off of you, perhaps you could bring them here, lend them to the museum. I'll give you an occasional finder's fee, and we'll safeguard your collection for you. You'll be able to access any and all of your collection as you see fit, and you'll know the rest of it will be safe in your absence.
That does sound good to me.
Excellent. Well, let me give you the 10 septum toll then.
Okay. May this not crash. Please, please, please.
This building was once called Magnarian Hall and was built as a temple dedicated to Talos, the patron god.
Hooray! I can walk
After
around.
The White Gold Concordate,
This place
however,
looks
the
pretty
statue
sweet.
was moved and the temple closed. I came here a few years ago and was able to procure use of the space in the pursuit of establishing this museum. Of course, I have had the building vastly expanded over the last 2 years to accommodate what I hope will become one of the grandest collections of Tamrielic history in the world.
So I do want to listen to this
grand
guy.
atrium I call the Hall of Heroes.
Hall of
It is where a
Heroes.
variety of historically significant relics can be displayed, and is quite a striking entrance to the museum, if I do say so myself.
Just because
Off
I
to
don't
the
want to
right
miss
is the
things.
Reception hall and staff barracks, as well as the museum
Reception
office
hall,
where I do much of my work.
Barracks, museum office.
To our left, you'll find the central hallway leading to all the other galleries of the museum,
I guess
which
it's
also
that.
serves as the cultural arts exhibit. Here, I hope to display a variety of art, as well as elements representing the more primitive cultures here in Skyrim, such as the Falmer, Forsworn, the Giants, and more. Down here on the lower level, you will find access to the East Exhibit Halls, which houses the Daedric Gallery,
This
the
place
Hall of
is
Lost
huge.
Empires, Hall of Oddities, and the Hall of
Hall of
Legends, which
Oddities.
showcase a vast array of relics pertaining to the Daedra, Dwemer, Fulmer and ancient Nordic cultures, as well as a number of peculiar items that defy simple classification.
Peculiar
At the
items.
close end of this hall, the stairwell will lead to the armories in the basement and up to the second floor. There you will find access to the Natural Science Gallery,
Gee
as well as
whiz.
the Dragonborn Hall, where I will commission a variety of displays heralding any of your accomplishments.
This place is
At the
friggin'
far end of the hallway
massive.
on both floors, you'll find access to the Grand Library. And here, on this floor, the door on the right also connects to the museum office. If you cannot find me in my office, you will almost certainly find me whiling away the hours in the library. Also, you should pick up a copy of the museum guide at the entrance of the museum. It will let you know the schedule of where I'm working should you need to find me, and it will offer you an easier way of navigating the museum, as well as keep track of how many displays our museum has. Of course, it may take me a moment to update those accounts, so check the guide again if you feel the numbers seem off.
Alright,
I'm
I
sure
will
I'll
do that.
eventually account for everything. Any items you find for display, you can either manually place them yourself, or utilize the prep station in my office. And I'll
Man,
ensure
this place is
everything
sweet.
It's properly displayed if it has an appropriate place. I'm likely to have a variety of tasks for you, but in between, I'm sure you could help me find a random relic or two I've been researching. Feel free to look around and come find me if you have any questions. I'm very excited about the prospects of where we are headed.
Okay, so I was walking around to kind of match pace with him. But I'm gonna check all this stuff out. Museum armor, cuirass, and boots and gloves. I might pick up some of those. I will take a coin purse. Writing supplies. Huh. Leathercraft supply. What? Leathercraft storage. Keeper of secrets. Empty museum. Oh. Warning, use of the safe should not be required during normal gameplay. I strongly recommend you do not take items from the museum this way. Doing so is entirely at your own risk. Okay. Don't want to do any of that then. What does that say? I don't know what that says. But I'm gonna look up what that says at some point. Replica workbench. Miscellaneous items. Supplies. What? Liquor supply. That's the important one. Gee whiz. Oh. So it's got like an inventory sorting system here. Display drop-off. Display prep station. Man. Read the barber. Okay. Wow, this place is archaeology workstation. Shipment planner. There's like 10,000 things just in this room. Okay, he mentioned getting the guide from the start, and so that's what I'm gonna do. That was the book, I think. Yeah. Okay, Curator's Guide. Boop-a-da-boop. Is a complete guide to the Dragonborn Gallery. It contains lots of useful tips about the museum displays, mechanics, quests, and more. You can also use the guide to instantly move to any room in the museum, locate Orion, and keep track of your total display count. I wonder if this works in the field. Like, if I'm out and about and I open this, I wonder if it'll just move me to the museum. Okay, but for now, I want to read the guide. Well, after that huge book in Silent Moon Ruins, I want to see how long this thing is before I go reading it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Safe house features. Jeez Louise. Soul extractor. Soul gem transmogrifier. I think that should be transmogrifier. Maybe you transmogrify it if it's a soul gem. Treasury room. The hidden treasury room. There's a hidden treasury room in here. Oh my gosh. What? Furniture upgrade. Oh my gosh. Explorer Society. Wait. excavation perks. So you can get perks in archaeology. I am liking this. I'm loving this. I'm not going to read all this, and I'll tell you why. What I'm going to do is read that in depth myself. I'll save you guys the trouble. And then once I come back, I am going to give you guys the 10 Septum tour and kind of explain everything. So give me a hot minute. Okay, we're back. I've read through, and I think I understand. We'll see. So, all of these things are individual displays for things that you can find in the world. Some have been added by the mod. Some have been like Galder Blackblade. Let's try that again. Galder Blackblade is something from one of the quests in the base game, and so. But now you have a place to display it. So as you find these items, this is the barracks, I think. Yeah. As you find, this place is also a maze, by the way. As you find items in the world, you come back here, you hit display prep station, and it'll automatically take all of the things out of your inventory that have a display in the museum and put them there. You can set it to display everything that fits. There are settings where it's like if it's a quest item that you should be carrying around still, you can leave those out of this display prep. Would you like to place all displayable items from your inventory? No. All of this other stuff, so the archaeology archaeology workstation, using those fragments, fragment Nordic, from those excavation sites that you can find in the wild. One of them was in the Silent Moons camp. You can build displays. You can use those fragments to build displays. The shipment planner, basically, you can choose to have essentially kind of a display drop-off at your houses, at inns, at carriages, so that you don't have to travel back to the museum anytime that you want to place a display. You'll just drop it off at the carriage or whatever, and then a couple days later it'll get sorted into the museum. There are a number of display halls. From what I gather, this is just kind of like, these spots are kind of for general achievements that you get from just playing the game. They're not tied to any particular item. Going upstairs, before I go into any other rooms, there's even more displays. So you've got displays for the Elder Scrolls, you've got displays for various daggers. I don't know what this is. That's something coming soon. Displays for helmets, displays for jewelry, all of this stuff that you can find in the game world. There is an exit out to Solitude. So okay, the other parts of the museum. That's outside, don't want to go there. This is the way I want to go. So, to start off, East Exhibit Hall. There's so much in this mod. I mean, I can't imagine how long it's going to take for me to fill all the displays in this thing. So, Daedric Gallery. So you've got displays for the Skeleton Key from the Thieves Guild quest, the Ebony Blade, Gold Brand. There's a couple of... So Mehrunes Razor is from a quest in the main game. There's 16 Daedric Prince quests in the main game that each give you a Daedric artifact, and those all have displays here. But there's like other weapons that have been added in by the mod. This is one of them, Jiggalag's sword. Where's another one? Bow of Shadows. I don't know where I'll be able to find those. I have no idea. These seem to be new. Hersene's totems. So all of these are individual displays. There's a display for a sigil stone, so that apparently you can get one of those. This is from the Dragonborn DLC. So when you go to Solstheim and fight Mirak and all that stuff, that's all from that quest. So that is one hall. Then you have the Hall of Oddities. So that Jade Warrior 2 goes here. And so you've got a number of Jade, bunch of Jade stuff that you can find. You've got coins that you can find. So these, the Deck of Mystics, these cards that I was finding. So once you have a full deck of cards, you can keep the deck in your inventory to give you kind of a passive boost, or you can display it here. Then there's all sorts of weird stuff that I don't have, like Ice's Stalrim Spoon of Assassination. I have no idea what that is, but apparently it's something that you can find. Ysgrimmor's Soup Spoon. So this is just kind of weird stuff that you can find in the world, and of course this is full of all of this other stuff that you can find. Then, kind of losing my voice here, Hall of Lost Empires. So this is, I think he mentioned Dwemer, so all the dwarven stuff, the weird stuff that you can find, and the Falmer, and there was something else, maybe Snow Elves, but yeah, so all of these are displays for stuff that you can find related to the dwarves or the Snow Elves or the Falmer through quests and whatnot. What's this? Ethereal Staff. Now some of this, from what I gathered, is like some of this stuff is required for a quest. Let me get back to the main. I'll show you an example of that because I saw the display earlier over here. Was it over here? No, it was in the library, which is our next stop. Boop, 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 doop, 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 doop. Like I said, this place is enormous. Oh, there's Arian. Just like you said. Oh, I'm here. So, for example, activate the Dragon Stone. And that's that big stone I found in Bleak Falls Barrow that I gave to Jarl Balgruuf to kind of kick off the dragon, the whole main quest. And so I don't have that anymore, but there's a station in the museum that allows you, if you have the materials to craft it, craft a replica of it. So I won't be able to put the actual Dragonstone there, but I will be able to craft a replica and then put that there. So eventually you can fill up everything. In the library, you can grab all of the books that you have and shove them in here. Search book returns. So open this up and you just put all the books here. Then it'll sort the books into places that have been set apart for each and every book that's currently in the game. And when I say each and every book that's currently in the game, I mean each and every book that's currently in the game. There's a couple of books, so these downstairs bookshelves are for specific. Some have been added in by this mod, but once you go upstairs, you have these kind of like skill books, spell tomes, numerical titles, bookcase A to G for all the kind of the base game books. Then there's displays for the treasure maps that you can find, and in the base game those go up to 10. This has added in I think 15 more, and then some specialty maps that you get from various quests in the game. So once you have return the books, let me get back down to the bottom floor. Once you've returned the books and sorted them, then you update the card catalog list, and then any time that you sit in a chair in the library, it will give you a list of all of the books that you have in the library. So if you want to read any, book that you found, the library is just like a one-stop shop to access any of those titles. So you don't have to keep them in your inventory or store them in a chest anywhere. The library does that for you. Next, if you can believe it, there's still more. Up in the upper hall, there is the gallery, or Hall of the sign says Hall of Natural Science, the door says gallery, but Natural Science floor. So you have all of these displays. There's a couple bugs in a jar that you can find in random spots. Entomology exhibit. The cornerstone of every ecosystem and food chain starts at the lowly insect. If one keeps a keen eye as they travel across Skyrim, a vast array of insect life can be found, not only as a food source to various small predators, insects are also used in alchemical formulae. So if you have the materials, so build wolf display. I need 2 wolf pelts, and it'll build like a diorama display, like you would find in an actual natural history museum. Saber cats, bear displays, and they've got these different biome displays. Cave, farm, icy, whatever. What is this? So forest display. These apparently are various dragons. So this is like a dragon display. And you've even got like a little dragon word wall up there. Aquarium, if you find fish. What is this? You can plant plants here. So if you want a steady supply of a certain plant, you can plant it in this display, and over time those will grow and you can harvest them. What do we got? Mammoth display for giant camps. Tide pool display. Do I have anything from the set? Apparently I don't. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe clams and stuff. And then this is just like a little diorama of the Red Mountain, so Vardenfell. The mountain is a vast volcano that dominates the island of Vardenfell and Morrowind. The mountain has had 2 major eruptions, the Sun's Death event in First Era 668 and the Red Year in Fourth Era Year 5. The island was actually named after the volcano. The original name of Red Mountain was Vardenfell, which translates to City of the Strong Shield in Dwameri. It is a small continent all to itself, riven from the rest of Morrowind by the remains of a colossal crater. There are numerous texts available in the museum library. Then you've got gemstone displays, and I've actually found a couple of those. You can find them in random people's houses. You can find them, Carnelian's one. I think it'll place the flawed onyx, iolite, kunzite, quartz, sodalite. You can find them in inns. You can find them in merchant stores, just kind of lying on the counter. So what else there is, I definitely know how to use words, but let's try that again. Something else that there is up here, there's a friggin' fossil display. So I said that I had this fossil mining mod, and this is a place where you can display all the stuff that you find. Small fish fossil, beetle fossil, early all this stuff. What's this? Large beaked saurian fossil. Colossal crocodile fossil. So all of this stuff, fossilized dragon skeleton. Some of these are, from what I gather from the mod, some of these are common, which makes sense, and some of these are pretty rare finds, but you get these from mining the different ore deposits that are all across Skyrim. So that's this area. That's the Gallery of Natural Sciences. And there's some places that I can't access yet. So I don't know what this is, but it requires a key. Wonder what's behind it. Perhaps I should ask Arian about it. That's just the top level of the library. This is the Dragonborn Hall, so aside from all of the other quest items that you can get from various this and that's, this appears tied to basically achievements. So when I went through Whiterun, I activated a Shrine of Talos that's right by the Jarl's Palace, and when I activated it, the game recognized that I had found a Shrine of Talos and put it here in the display. So there's displays for all of the different divines shrines here. Then there's the Warrior Stone and the Mage Stone and the Thief Stone, the standing stones that I found at the very beginning of the game. But if I find the others, they have a display here as well. Just various things that I guess you can, like, I'm sure something goes here and something goes here for completing various quests that are within the game. That's probably related to the main quest line. Oh, nope, they're still not done, because at the bottom floor, very bottom down here, that is very cool looking, got a nice statue there. There's the Armory. So this is all of the stuff. So this is if you craft or find Dragonbone armor, you can display a set of it here. This is for Daedric. This is for Stalrin. This is for Forsworn armor. This is for Ancient Nordic. So all of the different styles of armor, if you have a full set of them, or even pieces of them, it'll display here. What's this? Dawnguard stuff, Imperial Light Armor. So some stuff I've already got. It won't place anything that you are wearing at the time. So you don't need to worry about that if you activate the prep station. It won't take items off of you that you have equipped. But I am going to run the prep station because I do have all of this stuff currently in my inventory, and see what I have. I'm not sure how long it takes. I haven't messed with the settings. Prefer replicas to actuals. Makes sense. Only replicas is off. Protect quest items on. Sounds good. I'm going to activate this. Yes. All items being displayed. This may take a while. Still sorting displays. I haven't done this before, so I have no idea how long this takes. I imagine that it'll take longer the more crap you have in your inventory. But we'll see. In the meantime, boop, boop, boop. I'm going to take one of those. Examine the sword case. A very elegant and beautiful sword lies displayed nicely behind glass, but curiously is tucked away in a curator's office rather than on display in the open. Maybe I should ask Orion about it sometime. Noted. Orion's notes on Cyrus's saber. Okay, so this is short. I'll read this. Circa 2nd Era, 831, Cyrus the Redguard became a brigand, rebel, and revolutionary in Hammerfell during the rise of Tiber Septim's empire. He and his sister were responsible for the liberation of Stros Mackay Island during this time. Once his task was completed, he reportedly passed his blade down to the Nord captain Tobias, who kept the blade as a mantle of bravery and passed it down to his successors. Ages later, the blade, nearly rotted away, was a mere trinket to the captain of the Brinehammer, a shadow of its prior glory. I've since learned that the Brinehammer was due in to Dawnstar several months back and never arrived. I fear that any possible clues about Cyrus's saber, still existing or not, are lost to the depths of the sea. I'm actually going to take that. So that, I believe, is now a quest. Orion's notes. Yeah. So I can... So there's different things in the museum that will start you on quests for relics, so you can fill this place up. Oh, not too bad. 30 displays. I like it. The other thing, one last thing, is this supplies stuff. You can sort you can stash all sorts of things in the supplies, and I believe when you craft something, you can pull it out. Like, if you have the supplies in the chest, let's say you go to an alchemy station, it'll load up all of the alchemy ingredients that you have stashed away. So you don't have to carry them on you all of the time. If you stash them away in the supplies area, it'll pull out the related crafting items at whatever craft station you're at, whether it's like a forge or an arcane enchanter or fill in the blank. So anyways, that is the museum. As far as I can tell, there is, let's see, I think this just spits you out upstairs, maybe? Safe house requires key. And I saw the safe house in the Curators guide. This is a museum storeroom, and this is a place where you can store all of your booze. Different types of alcoholic drinks that you can find in the wild. Key rack to store all your keys. Examine strange button. This appears to be a strange button of sorts, and only the last 3 letters can be translated as NMM, but it's clearly broken beyond repair and without any hope of functioning properly. Best not to ask about it. So this used to have, from what I gathered from the actual mod page, this used to have some functionality with a different mod, but they stopped supporting it, and so they just left it in as kind of a Easter egg. This is a debug portal. I'm gonna take some of that moss. So if something breaks, you can use this to kind of fix what ails you. All of this stuff is related to the different drinks that you can find in Tamriel, or Skyrim, I guess. So that's it. That's the museum tour. This is just the barracks. I'm assuming you get more people in here as time goes by and they sleep. Got a nice digs here. So yeah, I mean, this place is friggin' amazing. Got a nice dome there too. And I'm looking forward to filling this thing up. I'm looking forward to going on some quests. There is apparently an entire gigantic quest line associated with this. So I have 30 displays, and from what I gathered from the mod website, the more displays you have, like once you reach certain display thresholds, then it'll start the next kind of quest for the Legacy of the Dragonborn mod. But yeah, I'm looking 1,000% forward to this thing. So I will get back at it in the next video, but thank you for watching, and I'm hoping this mod is as impressive in the rest of it as it is at the start of it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Hit like, hit subscribe, and yeah, see you next time. Bye for now.